Good morning and happy Thursday. Welcome to this week's edition of Offit Kurman's Remote Rundown. I'm Jim Reese, Director of Business Development at Offit Kurman, and each week I'm joined with labor and employment attorneys Russell Berger, Sarah Sawyer, and Veronica Yu for a conversation about the latest and most relevant employment issues related to COVID-19 and advice for owners and employers on how to best deal with these issues. So since last week, there have been some updates to the Family First Act, and we'd like to kick off the conversation with Sarah for an update.
Thanks, Jim. So the Families First Coronavirus Response Act went into effect back in April 1st. However, between then and now, we've seen a lot of guidance come out. And we're also just seeing, from a practical standpoint, a lot more employees needing to actually take this leave. So as employers have brought their workforces back, as schools have gone back, a lot of the facts around who might need to take leave. And this is that leave that, just as a reminder, is that the extended sick leave, or the emergency sick leave, and the extended families FMLA leave for people that need to take care of their kids that are not in school or virtual learning, things like that. So, we're actually seeing a lot more employees actually either needing to use the leave because they've gotten sick with the virus, or they have symptoms, or they've come in contact just now that things have opened up more. And then also with schools opening up, people needing to use the leave for that. And so I know that I've been fielding a lot of questions from employers about how to apply their policies, and making sure that they're properly providing the leave and getting the information that they need, especially because there's been additional guidance that's been coming out from the Department of Labor, and there's been some back and forth about the application of that guidance. And so it's really people needing to stay on top of it now that it's being used a lot more often.
Yeah, well, and that new guidance is really a byproduct of a federal court decision in New York that disagreed with the Department of Labor's interpretation and application of certain aspects of the FFCRA. So in response to this, from the DOL's perspective, critical or negative court decision, the DOL has basically doubled down on these contentious provisions, and they've beefed up their regulations, because part of what the court has to do is not necessarily institute its judgment for the administrative agency, in this case the Department of Labor, but make sure that the Department of Labor is taking a diligent approach to issuing regulations. So basically what the DOL did is they beefed up their regulations. They went back to to what they had, and they made it stronger, but ultimately, second verse, same as the first on a lot of this. So specifically, what the new Department of Labor rules do is they double down again on the fact that an employee is not eligible to take Families First leave if there is no work from which to take the leave. So someone who's been furloughed and doesn't have work to come in and do is still not eligible for Families First leave, according to these new DOL regs. The Department of Labor also again reaffirmed its position that both the employer and the employee must agree if the employee is going to take intermittent leave under Families First. So instead of taking a solid block of time, if it's going to be intermittent, some kind of fluid schedule, then both parties have to agree to that. In addition, the Department of Labor also said that requesting family medical leave the employee who's requesting that leave must provide the information in support of that need for leave as soon as possible, or as soon as practicable. So again, that just really means that an employer is going to be required or can require an employee to fill out a Families First leave request form, which of course we've been recommending for a while, because will give you the documentation that you're going to need as an employer when you want to seek reimbursement from the IRS of those funds paid pursuant to Families First. One thing that the Department of Labor did move a little bit on is the definition of healthcare provider. So that was a core issue in the New York case, and I don't think this is the right place to get into all the details of what a healthcare provider means under the Families First Act now, but suffice it to say that if you have healthcare providers or you've been concerned about that issue in your workplace, and as you've applied Families First, the rules have changed a little bit. So that's something to really drill down on and see how it applies to you specifically.
As an employer, if these Families First leave requests, if they're making your head spin, that's totally normal. Some of our clients who have been really proactive about understanding Families First leave are still peppering us with questions about how it's applied. And it's totally fair. Just like we talked about last week with revisions to the EEOC guidance, there's now 103 FAQs on Families First leave. So even if you think you have a good handle on it, when you get a request, I recommend going back and looking at the guidance and seeing, if you're doing it right, because it does get a little confusing. Even the case that Russell was talking about, that decision came out on August 3rd, and it took, up until September 11th for the guidance to be updated. So if you were following along, employers didn't know what to do for that gap of time. So Cliff Notes, the revisions that Russell was just talking about, they are FAQ number 16, 21, 22, 56, 98, and 99. So there's 6 of them that have been updated. You can check them out and just Control F and search the 103 FAQs. And if you need to update your paid leave policies, make sure you do that. And again, just, big takeaway, refer to that guidance as needed. And if you have any questions, we're always here to answer them.
Thanks, Veronica. I hope people had pen and paper and can jot down those FAQ numbers. Otherwise, we'll put it in the comment section.
You can rewind on video now, Jim.
There you go. Oh, you have that feature. Thank you.
Well,
when I was growing up, we didn't have those features.
Don't worry about it, because next week we're just going to do a dramatic reading of all 103.
Oh, great. I think I might be sick that day. Okay, well, great. That's good information. Always ever changing. I do have a little trivia question for us. We'll start with Russell today. What's your favorite app on your cell phone?
This is silly, but I tend to use the flashlight a lot.
Okay, we don't need any explanation. I don't even want to go down that road.
My daughter turns the lights off on me and doesn't like being in the dark, so we use the flashlight.
Okay, uninteresting question answer, but a surprise. Sarah, how about you?
I would say probably my podcast app or my YouTube music app. I use them often during the day, especially the music app. I'm not one that likes a lot of silence, so I got music going in the background a lot. So that's probably the most likely one that's running on my phone on a regular basis.
Right, Veronica.
So I love my Pandora app, and I also love the flashlight app. But to add some diversity here, my Beachbody On Demand app or the Peloton app. They have great little short workouts.
The 7-minute workout. You can get a 7-minute workout app also.
And Jim, your favorite app is your Ring doorbell app, right?
No, that's getting deleted very shortly, but actually it's gone off about 4 times during this recording. There it is, 3 times. Someone at the door. So mine is split between the LinkedIn app, obviously, and also the photo app, because I'm always showing pictures of my grandchildren. So those are my 2 favorite. Great. Well, this has been fun. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
Thank you.